Hi, this is Nikki, and I'm here to share messages that I get from Spirit for all of us who are all on this journey of love. And I just want to share that I have all my videos go from one to the next, and they are all super connected. And I mentioned in the last video that I was going to be meeting my twin, and I did meet him. And so I will let you know what happened. So the things that I can say is that definitely, so I've shared, if you know this, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that my twin, you know, as is always the case, we have definite things to heal. And he had a drink, he had a drink addiction, also like various addictions. Anyway, and so what was really lovely to see is that he has been he's basically not stopped drinking completely because he's on medication, so he needs to, but he is like completely, you know, not not in that. So he's completely moved on from where he was a few years ago, and that is really, really lovely to see. And he, you know, no longer is sort of like beholden to alcohol, which is just so which is just amazing, you know, because ever since I've met him, that has been a big thing. So that was really good to see. There was, so as always with these connections, it's bittersweet. So I had the most surreal couple of days, as always, because combined with meeting my twin, which, you know, was amazing on one hand. He's like, he's so much better health-wise and all of those things. But he was saying that he was looking to, the last time, he was saying that he's looking to buy a house with, you know, now he's looking at buying a plot of land to build a house. And that is, and so the irony of this is that when I first met him, I wrote him this card when we went and we separated. And in this card, it was, you probably know the card, it's the Banksy picture of the girl letting the balloon go. And in that card I wrote, and this was what was so bizarre to me, because I'd hardly met this guy at the time, but I just wrote everything that I wanted to do with him in my life. And in it I wrote about getting a camper van, going traveling around the world, building a house together, all of these things that I just felt so strongly that was I don't know, I just wrote it all down. And, you know, thinking, God, this is, no, I didn't even, to be honest, I didn't even think how nuts this is, because I've only met him for like 2 weeks or something. But so the bittersweetness of it is that, of course, he's telling me these things, and I'm thinking, well, he's gone and done everything that I wrote to him in that card years ago, but he's done it with someone else. And that is the bittersweet of it. So it was just, and so that is, but again, very, you know, as always with these twin connections, it was lovely, and looking into his eyes was, and oh, it's just like nothing else. But then since not seeing, then it's like that whole, like yesterday, because I haven't seen him for a while, then I saw him, then I miss him, and it's gone back to that feeling of like, I really miss him, you know. And so when you haven't seen them for a long time, you kind of, that goes, of course you miss them, but not in that sort of like my heart. I can actually feel it in my heart again, you know. And so yeah, so it's been lovely, but equally, you know, double-edged sword. But at the same time, I had this very same day, the day before, I had some twins come to stay in with my B&B. And not only that, but one of the twins started, she'd seen my tarot cards, And so she started saying, we were talking, and then she said that she's got a twin flame tarot deck. And then I was like, oh, do you know about twin flames? Anyway, the long and short of it is that yes, she did. So I learned all about her twin flame story. And it turns out that we met our twin flames exactly 11 years ago. The same amount of time. And then the red rose became significant as well, as we were, you know. And the red rose is the only flower that my twin has ever given me. He asked me to go round to his house, and in the garden there was one red rose, and he picked the red rose for me. So there were all of these things that were just, you know, again, this, you know, like everyone that is in these connections, you know what that double-edged, the bitter sweetness of everything is. It's like, you know, all of that is so beautiful. All of those sort of symbolic, spiritual, coming into meeting physical connections, you know, the symbology behind it, the timing of it, everything was just, you know, beyond surreal. But then, you know, the physicalness of, well, that's all wonderful, but I still walk away and he's still with someone else, building or potentially looking for a plot of land to build a house with someone else. So, yeah, that's where I've been the last couple of days, having a very odd, surreal experience, but beautiful as well. You know, everything, the whole gambit of emotions. So I'm just going to see what the cards say. What guidance do the cards say? The deep knowing. We got this. This was the card that I got in the last reading that I did before going out to meet my twin. This was the card. And so it's still saying the same thing. 43, the number 7, 7 the number of the soul, is there is a deep knowing within. And, you know, and the thing is as soon as I saw him again, I know. That's the thing. It's like, I just know that he's the person that I'm supposed to be with. And I know that, you know, it, you know, on people, you know, any normal person would be like, it's 11 years. What are you doing? But if you know, and you're in these connections, then you know that you know. There's just, no matter how hard I've tried, you know, to be like, okay, I'm going to let it go. That's it. I'm going to look for, you know, I'm open to whatever wants to come. And then the messages and the signs and everything come flooding back, and it's always back to him again. So the deep knowing is this. There are occasions when you just know deep in your heart and soul that a person is going to play a meaningful role in your life. Someone crosses your path, and suddenly, out of the blue, you are connected at a level impossible to describe. Okay, so as always, some very odd things. And this is so impossible to describe, these connections. So one of the things that happened, I'll just say, because it is quite funny. So yesterday, I have got a roll-top bath in my bedroom, and the feet of this roll-top bath are in this silver. And for about 12 years, I've been meaning, no joke, for about 12 years, I've been meaning to paint the feet of this bath. Anyway, I came back the other day, and I just suddenly got this. I just went to the cupboard, grabbed the paint, and painted the feet of the bath. And the paint that I used was called Little Green. So I'm with my twin, where we sat at this table, and out of his pocket he gets a little green paint chart. And I say to him, oh, I just painted my bath feet a little green colour. I'll show you the colour. And he looks at me and he goes, you painted your bath feet? And I was like, yeah, I paint, you know, the bath that's in my, he said, oh, you mean the bath in your room? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, I said, I did it yesterday afternoon. I just suddenly had this urge to do it. And he said, that is so weird, because yesterday afternoon I was watching a program where they painted bath feet, and he was thinking to himself, I've never seen that before, that somebody paints their bath feet. And then we worked out that it was exactly the same time that I had this urge to paint my bath feet. I mean, and again, that's exactly what this is. There are connections that you make that are just happen, that are impossible to describe. And yet again, there was one of those moments. So always when we meet up, there will be something like that, that you're just like, okay, that is so weird. And I remember once when it happened, when we would, for some reason, talked about his uncle. And I didn't know, but I said, and we were saying, I don't know why, but I just said, oh, is his name Godfrey? And Dave, like, was so shocked. And he was like, yes, it is. How did you know that? And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I just what popped into my head. But, you know, the Godfrey is believe God, obviously faith in something, whether you call it God, whether you call it love, whether you call it a higher consciousness, whether you call it the creator of the universe, whatever you term that word. But in faith in God, there is freedom. And freedom of this sort of like constantly questioning and constantly thinking and overthinking and thinking and overthinking and everything that these connections do. But I just, again, that was so symbolic that it was Godfrey. And of course I had no idea, but it just came out of my mouth. And then he was like, how do you know that? And exactly the same with the bath feet, because the feet, again, the feet are grounding, aren't they? We are grounding these connections onto the planet. So again, really symbolic that it was this connection around the feet. So, I don't know. It was just, but yeah, there is that deep knowing. So that feeling marks a moment which in time which is etched indelibly onto your soul. Someone has entered your life who will be instrumental in your journey. So pay attention, because two hearts are calling to each other to begin an alchemical process. This is also a sign that your intuition about the person you care about is correct. So trust your heart is there to lead you now, because magic is about to happen. Right, so the other thing, he had been to, I've just started drinking turmeric tea. And he said that he'd just been to the Asian supermarket, opened his bag, and of course, what was in his bag? Loads of turmeric. So, I don't know. It's just the most bizarre thing. Having someone like this in your life where you just, it's like we mirror each other's lives, but we're not really in each other's life. And you know, obviously that's a shame, because it would be so much fun just to bumble around and do life together. And that's always what I come away thinking. It's so silly that we can't. There's always this massive elephant in the room that we just don't talk about, which is our feelings. We just have a nice time and, you know, talk, like giggle and talk and just have a nice time. And then, but we don't ever talk about our feelings, which is just... because, and I feel like he's got, you know, I can't, because I feel like he's with somebody, and that to me, I just wouldn't do that. That's not, yeah. So coming away, feeling like this again, that's the duality. Go from having this real deep knowing to then, I feel like that sense of in my heart again, you know. So there we go. That was on page, oh, and then 2 numbers kept coming up. So one was 53 and the other was 21. So I'm going to read 21 and 53 from the Divine Love Letter books, which are again all available on Amazon. And these are an amazing way, you know, to get messages from your twin. They're all channelings that I've done between people's twins and their higher selves. So 21 is this: you have a calling. You are a special messenger of divine love. You have an imprint of energy that is unique only to our creation. You and only you carry the code, the DNA code that unites us. It ties us together like strawberries and cream. You see, we are the golden light. We, together, are the rainbow rays, the lighthouse that will lead the next generation of love and truth seekers into a new world, a new way of being. You and me, we will be together in this life and the next, and into eternity and beyond. You are my Buzz Lightyear. Okay, so that's one. And then 53 is this: we are part of the cataclysmic shift that is happening. The human earth is going to be suffering. Well, look what's happening at the moment. I mean, the Middle East is just horrendous. So the humans on earth will be facing many, many challenges, and we are part of that. But we are part of it to be a beacon of light, to be a message of hope, to show that true love does exist, to bring people into faith and hope for their own lives. Do you see that? Do you feel the truth of that in your soul? The purpose of our love will be to share our story so that people will know that if you keep the hope, you keep strong in faith, and you really trust in true love, then miracles can and will happen. And we will be living proof of God's message to stay in the vibration and footprint of love. Oh my goodness. Well, I did a video the other morning because I was on a beach at sunrise, and it was a huge beach, sandy beach, and it was a bit like a scene out of Mad Max because it was just massive. And I just suddenly had this vision of all of the twin flames together on this beach, all holding hands, all looking out to the sea, and all collectively doing like a call out to bring peace and love and harmony to this planet. And I saw it, you know, as you see things in your mind's eye, of the entire beach just being covered with twin flame couples, hand in hand, holding hands with each other as well, and just bringing that collective peace and that collective intent to bring peace, love and light to everyone, all of the people that are struggling in the world, and to raise the planet in love. So I will also load that video after this one because yeah, it's just a quick 2-minute video, but you'll see it's just an amazing. I wish that I could sort of almost superimpose what I saw in my mind's eye onto the video, but you'll just see a big massive blank beach, which is just huge at the sun coming up. So there we go. That is the message. As always, these connections blow my mind. The synchronicities, the messaging, the fact that a twin came here the day before and stayed. So on the day that I was meeting my twin, I had a twin here who was also a twin flame, who met her twin 11 years ago, exactly the same time frame as mine. The red rose was symbolic. It was just, you know, surreal upon surreal upon surreal. So there we go. That's been my last few days. So I hope whatever you've been up to, it has been okay. This is quite a long video, but yeah, I just wanted to give you an update on what's happened. So I'll be back tomorrow. As always, if you would like to have a healing, a reading, or a channeling, then please do. All details are in the link below. Okay, take care. Bye.